Hello, guys and gals, me Mutahar, and the impossible has happened, ladies and gentlemen. We are playing an impossible version of Grand Theft Auto that just released literally yesterday. Now, this is one of those things where I'm going to say we got an impossible Grand Theft Auto game before GTA 6. There's going to be a lot of that because GTA 6 is still coming out in 2025, it was slated to, and there's a lot of time between this video and the release date for that game. And between then, I'm going to be looking at a lot of cool stuff with video games, and we're going to have some fun. Now, today's topic is centered around the Sega Dreamcast. Now, if you don't know the Sega Dreamcast, it was at one point one of the most beloved consoles. You probably played Sonic Adventure on it. I played Shenmue 1 and 2, which that video is still coming, by the way. Now that I got Metal Gear Solid 2 out of the way, I can finally finish Shenmue 2. And let me tell you, the Dreamcast was a banging system, okay? I mean, at the time, visually, it kind of blows you away when you go from the PlayStation 1 with like FF7 visuals all the way to like Dreamcast, where graphics literally look as if they could not get any better. Now, at this moment in time for the Dreamcast, there was actually one game, one tiny indie game known as Grand Theft Auto 3 that was developing for it. One of the individuals behind the original game said in the first months of development for Grand Theft Auto 3 back in 1999 and the year 2000, they were done on the Dreamcast. And for commercial reasons, they switched to the PlayStation 2. Remember, the Dreamcast is a failed system. While it's still beloved and there's still plenty of games on it, PlayStation 2 mania was so insane that it launched, I think, 6 months after the Dreamcast, and we're talking the PS2, maybe it wasn't the better system from a GPU perspective, from my understanding, but overall it was a stronger system. Came with a DVD drive, which was pretty huge back in the day. I mean, you got a gaming system with a DVD drive. The DVDs alone allowed PlayStation 2 to have far more storage capacity than the Dreamcast when it came to video games. So Sony kind of did the same thing they did with Nintendo, where back in the PlayStation 1, even though the PS1 was weaker than the N64 and the games looked, shittier, I guess, for lack of a better term, the storage space allowed Sony to actually produce games like Metal Gear Solid or, have games like those function on the actual PlayStation hardware because they just had the capacity to store a large amount of information. Same thing with Grand Theft Auto 3. When you have an open world with tons of assets at the time and a world that needs to load in, you gotta have a DVD drive that actually reads quick, a processor that can stream things in quick. Something the Dreamcast did not have. Now, one of the actual pieces of hardware running on the devices was this copy of GTA 3. Now, if you look carefully at it, the HUD elements are fucking up a little bit. The graphics may not be as super shiny, but the fact that it's running at all is pretty impressive. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, DCA 3 is the topic today. Yes, literally the first Dreamcast version of Grand Theft Auto 3 dropped. I love GTA 3. Like, a lot of people will probably have the original trilogy, and some will love San Andreas because it's by far the most, content-filled version of GTA. Vice City's a fan favorite, but GTA 3 was a truly revolutionary game. You're talking about a franchise that went from top down, GTA 1 and 2, back on the PlayStation, and GTA 2 also released on the Dreamcast. These games were mind-blowing, okay? I mean, hey, it was an interesting world to have. But GTA 3, when you added 3 dimensions and all of those enhancements, it pretty much spawned the game we all know and love. And if it wasn't for the fact that they sold GTA 3 on the PlayStation and racked crazy sales numbers, if the Dreamcast version was the primary version, the franchise and Rockstar probably would have shuttered at that point, okay? I don't think they would have made fuck all for money. But here it is. To play DCA 3 on your Dreamcast, which I do not have, we'll be using an emulator, you must own an original PC copy of GTA 3 that you purchased to create your CDI image. No copyrighted assets or executable files are distributed. The result is a game that looks, feels, and plays like GTA 3, but is not GTA 3. So we're using a reverse engineered version of GTA 3 to be doing this, so hopefully, God willing, Rockstar Games cannot take down my video. So let's actually build a copy of Grand Theft Auto 3 for the Dreamcast right now. So there's a few things you have to follow, and if this looks like arcane magic to you, I'm going to show you this just happening live. So I've spun up a quick little virtual machine right over here with Windows installed. I actually had Grand Theft Auto 3, but this is a heavily modded version of the game because Lord forbid you actually try to play GTA 3 in today's day and age. This game is really fucking old, over 20 years old. So again, I'm gonna uninstall GTA 3 and just reinstall it. Now the version that these guys recommend is a $40 version from Rockstar Store. So we're kind of breaking the rules already by using the Steam version. So I hope to God it functions. They do mention there's some corruption that can occur, like some files get really broken, but I'm gonna pray to God. We're gonna do the pimp's prayer that nothing goes wrong here. So I need git scm and dream sdk r3, so I'm gonna install these real quick and just get things going. So I have git for PC, which I don't even think I need to install because I literally do have git in this virtual machine as we speak. Yeah, I do actually have git ready to go, so it's not an issue. Now I need Dream SDK R3, okay? So this is a modern, ready-to-use environment for Sega Dreamcast development. Do you guys want to make Dreamcast games in 2024? Well, you can fuck around and play with this software. So it comes with an ISO file, which I'm going to save over here, and we're just going to install this. Basically, I can just double tap that. It'll open and mount it on Windows. And I just go through the actual setup process right here. Oh, Windows is preventing me from, oh no, I don't care, dude, run this shit. It's a virtual machine, I don't care. Next, accept the agreement. Next, what is all this? Support for integrated, I think we're all fine. Just hit next. Stable, old stable, or legacy? Well, I prefer stability in my life, so I'm just gonna go there. Do not enable Python extensions, don't enable Ruby, use online repositories, hit next. Hit next, and of course, make sure path is enabled in Windows Terminal, hit next, and hit install. So again, just follow those directions and you should actually have this completely set up and ready to go. The installer will now configure Callisti OS, which is actually a completely separate from Sega tool, again, for Dreamcast development. And it's also wild too that, you know, and I'm installing the software because I didn't know that the Dreamcast community was still so active in development that, you know, we're having a GTA 3 port at this point, you know? Like, I didn't know the Dreamcast community was actually surprisingly this alive. It's actually quite wholesome to see. So once everything is installed, you want to open up your start menu and just type in Dream, and you want to find Dream SDK Shell. So you want to hit space and hit enter on that, and then you open this little like folder right over here. So if you're wondering how do I navigate this, luckily they have the instructions right here. So you type in the words mkdir, so make directory, GTA 3. And as you do that, then you want to do Explorer, and then you want to do space and then dot. And as when you hit enter, it's actually going to open up a brand new Explorer right here. So inside this folder that's just opened up now, you want to go to Grand Theft Auto 3 and you want to copy your PC version of GTA 3 into this. So again, just highlight all of your downloaded files and of course just copy them in here. So drag and drop them. Now again, okay, this is basically used to avoid copyright issues. What we're doing is we're using the assets from the PC version and converting them for the Dreamcast. So just to make sure everything is totally kosher, you need to have a totally legal, legit copy of the game for this. So you want to clone the DCA3 game repo and download the pre-built ELF. So again, you want to highlight this git clone. So just right click, copy that, go back to your shell, and then you just want to paste that in there and hit enter. So it's going to clone that into DCA3 game. Okay, so once you've cloned that actual Git repository, then the next thing you want to do is you want to type in cd for change directory, DCA3 dash games. You can tap to autocomplete stuff, and then you want to go to a folder known as Dreamcast. So once you have it written exactly like this, hit enter, and then over here you want to do Explorer and then space dot. And what will happen is it'll actually open up this folder right here, this Dreamcast folder. So keep it on the side over here. And the next thing you want to do is you want to download the alpha pre-built ELF. So open up that link and it'll take you to this folder. So what you want is that pre-built ELF file. So right here on the right side of this will be like job artifacts. You can hit download and it will just save this somewhere on your system, the artifacts.zip. So open up that artifacts.zip, go to Dreamcast, and you see that DCA3.elf. Well, you want to basically copy this into this Dreamcast folder that we just have kept open. There's not enough space on local disk. I need 12 megabytes? Holy shit, man, I gotta clean up these drives. Give me a second, boys. That's embarrassing. All right, anyways, after that level of embarrassment aside, you wanna now copy that ELF file to that Dreamcast directory that's open. And now, I definitely have more than 12 megabytes of space to copy that. So once that's effectively copied, you can then close this shell right here. So now you have to package this for burning a CD-ROM. Again, I'm not doing this for GDEMU, I'm doing it just to run in an emulator. So again, open up that start button, type in Dream SDK shell. So once you're in over here, ladies and gentlemen, what you want to do is you want to type in CD, DCA, and then you want to go to that Dreamcast folder again. So now you want to type in make _disk equal 1 CDI pre-built. And you should hit enter. So if everything is functioning over here, you'll see that it is just giving you a little blinking cursor. So this should take around 5 to 15 minutes. You can see it's actually packing everything here. So again, you can walk away and not worry about situations. There is one issue, apparently it says with Dream SDK, it will not fully complete the first time, which since we're expecting a failure, all you have to do is type that exact command in once again, and it will actually complete properly. And it should tell you repack completed successfully. All right, so one of these things, the actual failure I pointed out early just happened right over here. So again, all you need to do is just hit up on your keyboard, and you'll see that same command, make disk equal 1 CDI pre-built, and just hit enter one more time, and hopefully this time everything should work. Oh boy, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, we are done. CDI baked successfully. So now if you got your actual image baked, now you can finally play GTA 3 on the Dreamcast. Now if you had an actual Dreamcast, you could burn this image, but since I don't have a Dreamcast, we're gonna throw it into an emulator real quick. Now, since I have these files right here, what I need is an emulator, and for this I'm going to be using something known as Redream. Now, it's a free emulator for Windows, Mac, Linux, and if you got a Raspberry Pi, which I actually have one right back there, you can even get this up and running on that. And I believe it's also available for Android as well. So again, if you go to the actual download page, you'll find out they have multiple versions. They have a stable release from 5 years, god damn, 5 years ago? I'm gonna go pick up a development version that was made like 4 months ago and just download that for Linux, and we'll get started. So obviously for this, gonna need to have a controller as well, and I do in fact have a controller. I have a Dualsense, so I'm running a PS2 game PC game ported over to the Dreamcast in a Dreamcast emulator in Linux with a PlayStation controller. I just realized how crazy this is. Goddamn. All right, so first things first, you want to go to the input here, and you want to change it from keyboard to auto, so DualSense. Oh, everything just works out of the box. This is actually impressive, dude. Everything just works. It's like plug and play. It automatically shifted. Goddamn. So now I'm going to drag this CDI file and just sort of drop it in here and see just what the response is. And unfortunately, I think it may have crashed. All right, okay, it could literally just be the emulator, so I'm gonna do a Hail Mary and try it with Flycast. Maybe that might actually work here. Cause goddamn, if I have done all this for nothing, oh no. All right, let's fire up Flycast here real quick. So we've got the Flycast emulator. I'm actually a little worried. Hold on, let's go to settings, controls. I think everything just seems to work. It's fine. All right, let's drag and drop. Oh! Okay, it's not crashed yet, is it? It's just a black screen. Oh, baby! Oh, God, I think I'm about to come. Okay, we see the GTA 3 logo. That means something's going on, right? Okay. It's working. Oh, God, dude, it's... You actually have no idea how crazy this actually felt, okay? When I saw it crash in the other emulator, I thought literally this video is already done. So you see in the bottom it says DCA3. It's got this whole string. I assume that's like the identifier, the build number. So there is an actual graphics settings menu. So you've got FEM, CSB. Okay, so some things may not work entirely. There is The ability to change screen resolution, which I'm not even going to mess around with that. Like, I'm just going to leave everything here at the default. Because I hadn't even loaded the game up. I have no idea if this is even going to work. So let's start new game. Oh, okay. Loading the game. Loading generic.txd. Wheels.dff. Okay, so it's a more verbose loading than the actual PS2. Oh no, bro. It's giving me a white screen, bro. No, dude. No. Okay, so I'm not able to render any of the actual, damn it, I'm not able to render any of the actual, I think the 3D, but if you look at it, if you look at the screen there, I'm actually moving my character around a little bit. That's interesting. Now, I guess if I hit the pause button, it should give me like at least, okay, so it's a different pause here, so let's go to options. Maybe I can actually modify things in like the GFX for crying out, ooh. It's like weirdly lagging trying to do this. God damn. Oh my lord. Frame limiter? Well, thank God. Let's keep it on. What is this? Okay, trails needs to be off because I think that's what actually causes the issues. So let's turn trails off. Maybe that's the core reason. Oh! Oh my god. Okay. Okay, hold on. Hold on. It's better than nothing. Alright, I see the shadow of the car. Let's go. Oh, no. Let's turn off head radio, okay? I know if it's one thing that's gonna work is the content ID system. Oh, bro! Bro, dude! Well, we're here, ladies and gentlemen. Sure, the entire world may not have loaded, but we are playing through GTA 3 on the Dreamcast. Now, I wonder if this is caused by an issue because I'm using the Steam version of the game. But maybe not so much because, honestly, because I'm running this in an emulator, that's probably causing more of the issues itself. Now, I think if I go to the Flycast emulator, maybe I'm able to use things like software rendering, so I can just... Maybe that might actually fix it up. Let me actually see this. You know, honestly, like, the thing is, it's like, I can't even complain about the, oh, like, the day-night cycle is working, too. You can see, like, the skyboxes are all changing. The fact that it's running at all is already impressive to me. Like, this is a... To give you an idea, like, MVG can probably describe this a little bit better, because this is... At the time, it really felt like an impossible actual port to the game. I think I have to drop... Yeah, here it is. I gotta drop them off. And then Luigi's gonna tell me to go pick up Misty from the hospital. I drop her off, and then I can actually save the game. So let me do that first. Oh my god, dude. I actually almost failed this mission for the first time in my life by almost killing Misty. So, again, I'm gonna drive in this blue hell that I'm in. I actually did the first mission, dude! I actually did it! It works! You can play... Now, according to the actual, like, developers for this, you can actually play through the entire game. Now, it's not gonna be perfect. This is still the alpha version of the game. The alpha version of this port. So they're still going to be working on it. But yeah, the fact that we're already kind of here is insane. And again, I can imagine somebody could attempt to actually play through the game. Like, it's certainly not playable. This is not playable under an emulator. Not even close. But the thing is, I can imagine somebody may attempt to try this version of the game out and actually somehow be able to beat it. Again, it would really take somebody with some strong constitution. And again, trying to drive with the emulator is just insane. So we're gonna kind of go over here. Maybe if I can nudge myself into the... Oh, wait. Am I in the fucking... I gotta find out how to save, dude. Dude, this is like what being blind must be like, dude. Okay, so I hear the garage. I figured it out, dude. I figured it out. I figured out how to save the fucking game. God damn, dude. I was bumbling around in the dark to try to figure that out. Okay, so... Wait, there's a save? The exchange. Hold on, let me just save this right over here. Now, at this point, I started to experiment with the graphic settings around the emulator to see what I could use to better accurately render the frame buffer of the original Dreamcast so I could try to correct some of these visual errors. Unfortunately, the process didn't work too well, and the game
honestly couldn't render properly in an emulator. Now, obviously, it's no fault to the developer. This is most definitely intended to run on actual Dreamcast hardware, not any emulator, from my understanding. Remember, the effort involved going into this is insane. So I never expected this to work. I'm just glad we made it this far. But, you know, maybe it might get better down the road. Maybe I might try it with different, like, emulators and just B-roll the footage into it. Maybe I'll try it under a different system. Unfortunately, I don't have the Dreamcast. But the thing about it is, look, at the end of all this, this is an impossible version of Grand Theft Auto from a different timeline that we finally now get to experience. GTA 3 could have easily come out on the actual Dreamcast system. And while it made its way onto the PlayStation 2 in our timeline, you can finally experience a version of this game for the Dreamcast, which again, it baffles me that the Dreamcast, such an older system, such a cult fan base exists to port some of these really impressive games over to hardware that probably wasn't even really designed to run stuff like that in the first place. And if you look at the history of all this development, it really did start off, again, working in, you know, this, like in some emulators, it actually does work somewhat reasonably well, but unfortunately, it doesn't actually seem to break itself all the way through in at least the emulation that I'm in. And there are channels like the Sega Guru that actually do have this thing running on the release day build. So while they loaded it up, this is what the game actually looks like on an actual Dreamcast. So it doesn't visually look mind-bogglingly amazing. In some capacity, I would say that the texture loading isn't as impressive as the PlayStation 2, but the fact that it's running in the first place is pretty goddamn cool. Again, this was never supposed to happen. It never ended up coming out, but for now, one of the most impossible ports of Grand Theft Auto have basically been achieved. And that all before Grand Theft Auto 6 is dropped. So if this all interests you, you might want to check out the Sega Guru for this kind of stuff. They covered it 10 hours ago, and they've criminally been underviewed, especially for something that should be a pretty big achievement in the community. But yeah, the impossible happened. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. I am out.